Hey guys, welcome to Massive Iron Live. Welcome to Friday. We're in September. Holy, we won't swear. We made it to September. How you guys doing? Damn glad to see you. I got dog hair and all kinds of stuff all over me. What kind of a mess am I? How you guys doing? Welcome to Massive Iron Live. It is Friday, September 1st. I'm locked and loaded with energy drink, backup of agua. These two suckers. Whoa, we almost dropped them. Can't see them. Bear Bells, cashew. These are actually my wife's. She left them up here by accident. So if I get hungry, I'm gonna eat them. How you guys doing? Couple things before we get started. This is a live Q&A. I do questions every Friday. Probably the longest running Q&A in the history of the universe or history of live lifting things. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know, just making stuff up, but I'm here to answer your questions. So if you're new here, don't be shy. Post up a question. I'll be glad to help. Diet, training, nutrition, supplementation, off topic, whatever your question is, I'm here to help. So don't be shy. Before we get started, just a couple things. YouTube can be pretty funny, so if your question doesn't go through, it's not me ignoring you, it's not me throttling you, it's likely just YouTube being a pain. So try rewording your question. Try rewording your question, shortening your question. You never know what trigger words are going to trigger YouTube. So just keep that in mind. Now, before we start, it's a big 3-day Labor Day weekend. I'm gonna try to get out something this weekend. I've been working on something where I'm taking some of the best programs, some of the best classic programs, and I'm reworking them Massive Iron style. So I'm not, trying to be. I'm basically taking old programs like Hepburn's. The Steve Reeves program, that sort of thing. I'm reworking them in my style, just to show some people the contrast. Not that my style is better, right? They're effective programs in and of themselves. How would I run them, in the modern world, with the equipment we have, under certain, knowing that some of these programs took forever and we need a little bit better time constraints. What are the flaws? What are the weak points of the program? How do I run them differently? So I'm going to be putting out a PDF. My buddy boy's here. I've been putting out a PDF. I'm going to be putting out a PDF. Hi, bud. You want to come say hi, bud? Oh, come here, buddy. Oh, buddy. I got buddy a year ago today. I love you, buddy. I love you, buddy. I got buddy boy a year ago today. My best friend in the whole world. Anyway, I'm going to be putting out this PDF, and it's going to have 10 classic programs, and I'm going to rework them Massive Iron style. So just for fun. And I'm thinking about putting out my PDF on natural muscle building potential as a bonus. It's got a lot of good information. I'm going to actually cover that a little bit in this video because I want to actually go over what the natty limit is and show you guys some of the information real quick without boring you to death, right? So what's wrong, buddy? Are you a little bit cold? he just can't be without. He needs all the attention in the world. Before I get into things, guys, a couple of things. If your questions don't go through, please head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman, DM me, and I would be glad to help. I answer every question on Instagram. So please head over there and follow me. I'd be glad to connect with you. I'm not some knob-ass influencer who just follows back one person. If I get a chance to see you guys, I'll follow back. I can't follow Instagram, all the time. But if you send me a question, I usually follow everybody back that sends me a question so I can connect with you guys. And what was I going to say? We're getting into bulking season, and my coaching inquiries have really picked up. I don't really have room, but there are something's always coming up, so you guys are interested in coaching. You can head over to my website, superlivingtoday.com, and check out the coaching inquiry tab. Been a busy 2 weeks. I onboarded about 6 new people, and that's just the kind of way it goes in September and January. I took on a few extra clients. So Team Massive Iron, whoops, wrong way. Team Massive Iron. Please check that out if you're tired of social media and all the nonsense and drama and whatever. We run a pretty tight community, so I'd love to have you over there. And if you need some good workout ideas, or my whey or creatine, superlivingtoday.com. So blah, blah, blah. Enough of the commercial. I'm going to, before we dive into the comments, I am going to go quickly over my PDF on natural potential, because I want to touch on this for 5 or 10 minutes, and I gotta have to touch it on, buddy boy. I hope you guys can get some value out of this, because everybody tosses these things around, but a lot of people are tossing this around without actually knowing of the research and of the studies. And I'm gonna touch on this really, really quickly as a topic. Let me just see if I can pull things up here. Just bear with me. I want to see what I can do. Whoops. Where are you at? There you're at. And hold on. I got this over at Team Massive, so I'm trying to pull it up. Let me do a screen share. Present, share screen. Let's go. And then we're going to get into your questions after I go through this ramble. So this is over at teammassiveiron.com. And I might release this as a PDF. This is a long, you can call it an article, probably a mini book I wrote on natural potential. And it's very well structured and organized. You can see it's got a lot of information. Really quickly, what I want to really present to you guys when it comes to natural limits or discussion of natural potential is it's not some random thing like this is as big as you can get, like Steve Reeves. It's actually very scientific. And I'm going to scoot past this and see if I can get to the actual formula. So while there are opinions on what is the natural potential or physiological bodybuilding limits, the biggest source of information or research really comes from Dr. Casey Butt's research. And yes, his name is Butt, get over it, right? Right. So, but Dr. Casey Butt analyzed the numbers of 300 natural bodybuilding champions. Okay. These are champions. These are natural champions. And he analyzed them between 1947 and 2010. So before the modern era, right? Before the modern era. So if anything, if the modern era is being smashed, they would have to smash these numbers. Now, Dr. Butt analyzed body fat percentage, lean body mass, height, bone structure, wrist size, ankle size, etc. Just to let you know, I was on Dr. Casey Butt's forum a long time ago. He's not a crackpot. He knows what he's doing, right? So he studied all of the data of 300 natural champions to determine their bone size and their ankle size and their wrist size and their bone structure and lean body mass and body fat percentage and height to come up with a guideline for natural potential. So here is the formula. Maximum lean body mass equals height to a factor of 1.5, W. That is wrist circumference measured at the hand side of the styloid process. A is ankle circumference at the smallest point, and percentage body fat. So he came up with this formula. They're like, great, we got a formula. What the heck does that have to do with natural potential? Well, if you compare his formula and put in the numbers of these naturals, and then you look at their actual weight, his predictions are nailed. They're within 1%. So the formula is extremely accurate, right? And obviously it's a formula. It's a formula, and it's going to be as accurate as we can with 300 natural champions. But the thing that is impressive with this data is that the predicted weight of Clarence Ross is 198.1. His actual weight's 198. John Svarbotnik, 149.9. His predicted weight, his actual weight's 195. Eiferman predicted 194.9, actual 195. Reg Park predicted weight 214, actual 214. Grymick predicted 208, actual 208. Steve Reeves predicted 214, actual 214. These are all based on their numbers and statistics and what happened in the real world in the formula predictions. So it's showing you Grymick and Reeves and Park and Clarence Ross. His formula is predicting their maximum natural potential, and that's where these guys are at. So to dismiss this research as being inaccurate is really disingenuous. It's not. This is really quality research. So when you take this research and you stack it up versus modern bodybuilders, no one beats the predicted potential by more than a few ounces, right? That's the amazing thing of the formula. So it's not trying to limit you, but this formula does give us, like, this is kind of the ceiling, guys. And this is where Park ceiling down and Reeves ceiling down and Ross ceiling down and Grymick ceiling down and everybody ceiling down. And if you look at these right here, we have current world champions predicted 170, actual 170. Current world champion predicted B, predicted 168, 168, et cetera, et cetera. So there is some minor variance on outliers, like if your bone size gets really big or you're really tall, et cetera. So I'm going to give you guys one more thing to kind of dumb this formula down to remember. And I got to see if I can find it in here. So this is a dumbed down version of his formula that I created. And I don't know if I have it in this PDF or not. Let me see. Just give me 1 second, guys. Okay. I do not, but here it is. And I'm going to present this to you guys. And I want you to remember, it's a generalization. We're talking about lean body mass. We're talking about lean body mass. So if you are about 5'10", which is where I'm at, you're going to be around 180 is your natural maximum potential. Okay. I'm going to put this in here. So if you're at 5'10", your LBM, lean body mass potential, with some variance for bone size and structure, is going to be around this range. Okay. So for every inch above or below that, this is lean body mass if you removed all fat from your body. Every inch above or below this, you reduce 4 or 5 pounds. So if it's 5'9", it's like 174 to 177. If it's 5'7", it could be like 166. To let's see, 12 to like 170. Okay, so when you see the modern guys and you put in their body fat percentage, their weight minus their fat, none of them are beating these natural potential guidelines. None of them. None of them are. I've looked at the numbers, and I'm not going to call out specific people. The problem is we aren't all educated as a community to what the science is. So we start to think that I'm smashing no, you're not. You're not smashing these numbers. No one is smashing these numbers. At 5'7" or 5'6", you'd have to be around like 164 to 168 or 170 maybe tops. That's weight without fat. So even a guy like Alpha Destiny would have to be like, 182, 183 ripped or something like that, 180, whatever. You get the point. So that's a quick and dirty on lean body mass potential. There is science behind it. Team Massive Iron, I have the article pinned or the PDF pinned for free if you want to check it out. Blah, blah, blah. But, when I get on here, and I'm not trying to be Mr. Negative. I'm not. I'm trying to give you guys realistic goals. And I think looking like these guys, like Bald Omni Man, Jeffrey Verity, Schofield, and Alpha Destiny, and whatever, are good goals. And they're elite. But the only thing is we have to be really, really careful when we start saying we're smashing it, because we're not smashing these numbers. We're not bigger than Steve Reeves. We're not bigger than John Grymick. We're not. And that's the numbers speaking, not my opinion. All right, let's get into things. Enough of the spiel. Just a reminder, if you post a question before live starts, you get a chance to win a free shirt, hoodie, whey, creatine, or Team Massive membership. And I'll pick one. Sometimes I'll pick multiples. So just watch. Dumbbells and donuts. How's the internet quality, by the way? I'm showing that my quality kind of sucks today. And it looks random, so I'm not sure why. What's going on? Weight trending upwards. That's good. We bulk on our bulk. Yes, we do. What is the longest you held a plank for? I suck at planks. When I had the Special Olympian, so when I was coaching Special Olympians, we'd, at the end of every practice, we would have a plank to see who could beat me, right? And I don't know, I planked for, 90 seconds, or maybe even 120 on my best day. My wife could always kill me. She planks a lot longer than I do. I mean, one of the reasons why I started doing shoulder tap planks, like you're in a plank position and you just do like shoulder taps and you count the shoulder taps, is because it's easier to count the shoulder taps than it is to sit there and count the seconds, right? I can count to 50 and be kind of meticulous, not just trying to do that sort of thing. And the time goes by a lot quicker. Yvonne, what's going on, Yvonne? Good morning. Big Tim, how's it going? Happy Friday. Joy Pass, what sports did you play growing up? In school, I went out for football and I quit football. I don't know why. I went out for wrestling. I played intramural basketball in high school. I wasn't good enough for the team, so I just played intramural. Cross country, I actually got a letter. That's the only thing I lettered in high school was cross country running. If you can believe that. It's so weird that I went on to do ultra running. I mean, I just kind of went out. I like to run and stay active when I was a teen, so I did a lot of running, but I only usually did a 20-minute run a day. Nothing big. And but baseball was my big sport. I didn't play high school baseball, but I played like Babe Ruth baseball, and I played baseball every year. I was really good at baseball. And I just got better after high school. Probably the only sport I had any natural ability. I like basketball. I got pretty good at basketball after I got strong. But I was a really weird player. Like because of my strength levels, I was able to jump pretty high and grab the rim. Always just a couple inches away from being able to dunk. But I had a pretty good vertical jump. And because of that, I was a good rebounder. And, when you're able to outperform, I was a shooter, right? I was a more of a playmaker, but when you can, jump a lot, I was sometimes forced to post up a lot and at times even play center. So what do you think has been your greatest victory in life? That's easy for me. That really is, I think, not letting my past define me and limit me. I grew up, my father was a very violent alcoholic. We were very poor. Um, when I say my dad was a violent alcoholic, it was bad. It's not, exaggeration. My dad, when I was 8, once was so drunk he gave me a shotgun, and he just screamed for me to kill him. That was my life growing up. Really ultra violent. And back in the 70s, they didn't really collect child support. So my mom was working at a cheap laundry for like $6 an hour, $7 an hour. We didn't have a lot of food. I mean, we just ate bologna and cheese sandwiches and cereal, and that was basically what we ate every day of our life, just the bare minimum. So I'm not trying to play the, blah, 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 but, my greatest victory in life is not being defined by that. I think where I'm at right now, success-wise, doing what I love for a living, doing this for a living, just, being able to have the freedom to help people for a living is by far and away my greatest victory in life. I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be happier. And you guys provide the support. And at the end of the day, you guys are judge, jury, and executioner. If you don't like my content, you don't have to support me. But you guys support me enough so I can do this full time. And there isn't a single fucking second that doesn't go by every day where I'm not super thankful for that. And I don't take that, I take that seriously. And I take you guys seriously, and I'll answer every question. And Instagram here, wherever. And I'm all the drama and all the other stuff in this industry, sometimes I find funny and hilarious. But I feel kind of like an outsider to that world. My passion is lifting. All this, is Liver King still natty and all this kind of shit. Like it's bitch drama. It's funny. I might even make a video about it. Sometimes I got to make a video about it because it's just funny. But I don't even feel like a part of that world, the Doucette world and the Liver King world. I'm just moving rocks, man. I like to go to the gym and move heavy rocks. And I like this lifestyle. So my greatest victory in life is I think that I took it seriously enough to learn enough to be able to help a lot of you. Reese, is it okay to cut 10 to 12 pounds a month? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's very hard to lose muscle mass. You basically have to stop training and starve yourself. So don't worry about it. You're not going to lose mass. Even if you did lose an ounce or two, let's say you did, it's much harder to lose fat. So get the fat off. And the great thing about muscle is that there is muscle memory. So if you do a short little cut and it's aggressive, and let's say you do lose an ounce or two of muscle, that's about the most you're going to lose, right? Trivial amount. It's going to come back immediately when you get back on your normal eating and normal training. So like the fear is you're going to lose half your mass. No, you're not. Even if you lose anything, it's going to be super trivial. You wouldn't even be able to notice it. And it'll come back immediately. Big Bad Tim, not a question, but I think my lower back just really told me it's tired today. That happens. There's an ebb and a flow with these big lifts, right? You have squats and deadlifts, and you have all these big movement muscle groups involved. Hips and glutes and upper back and yoke and quads and hamstrings and everything's involved, your core. And the lower back, can come and go. Sometimes these things are getting stronger at a stronger rate than your lower back. And even though your lower back's getting stronger, there's going to be times where you're going to pick up fatigue or your form's just going to kind of randomly, one muscle in the mix is going to be off that day and something isn't going to feel right. But don't overthink this stuff. Be smart about your lower back. Take care of your lower back. I got an itch on my nose, not picking my nose. Be smart about your lower back. Adjust if you need to on any given day, but don't overthink it. You know, the lower back's like anything else. It's going to come and go, you know, as far as strength, but we just have to give it an opportunity to come and go without beating it down. To that end, over the past 2 weeks with schedule interruptions due to papers, I actually noticed that hitting my big compounds. Yeah, just be careful, especially with squats. Deadlifts, that's fine. Squats, I like to stay tuned into form. You're younger and you recover more quickly. So the connective tissue on squats, I find, is the most troublesome. You know, if I get more than a week out, I don't like mentally, I don't like to do that on squats. I like to keep everything, you know, at least grease the groove a little bit with a couple warm-up sets, you know, halfway through the period. Alex and Natural Hypertrophy keep pushing the idea that they've broken the natural limit. Now, I'm just going to say this, and this is not a slap at anybody. You can watch my video yesterday, but nobody's broken the natural limit. No one has. I think the issue here is we aren't looking hard enough at the science, and I'm not trying to pick a fight. I love these guys, right? But I'm just saying, from what I have explained to you guys and what these numbers are and what this formula is and where equatable Steve Reeves and John Grymick and Reg Park are, nobody's beating these guys, right? I don't care who it is, okay? We are not bigger when all things are equated than Steve Reeves or John Grymick or Reg Park. We are not. I mentioned yesterday in my video that strength is a different beast, but muscle-wise, no. No one out there has. And you know, I'm not trying. I don't want to do bitch fights. You know, it's not. I love these guys. I respect these guys, but I want to keep this in the realm of numbers and what the limit is and where we are relative to the limit, right? So that's where I want to ground things. And I want to stay there and not really talk about people. You want to talk about numbers. You want to give me somebody's height. You want to give me somebody's weight. You want to give me somebody's body fat percentage. Then we can see where they are relative to natural potential. I'm considering transitioning. Got to be careful with that word. It's 2023. We want to clarify what. Just joking. Just humor. For my 4-day-a-week upper posterior to a split. That comes through maybe 5 workouts every 10 days. I don't really like that. I don't like training a body part every 10 days. I'm not a fan. That's starting in a Mike Mentzer world. I'm really not a fan of that, Tim. I'm not at all. I'm just not. You know, I'd rather see you use lower volume and be able to hit every body part at least once every 7 days. There's just not enough real world experience to say that every 10 days is a reasonable method. I want you to stick more with convention. There's no reason to venture outside of that. I know you don't tend to switch. Well, it's not about switching programs. It's, you know, we evolve our programs and sometimes we try new things. A program hopper, a program switcher is somebody who doesn't trust the process, doesn't believe, or thinks they're plateauing every week, or can't stick to anything more than a couple weeks. There's a difference. You can switch programs every 3 to 4 months just for variety. That's fine. Any resources, suggestions for splits you would point? Tim, what? What are you talking about, Tim? Team Massive Iron has like everything on there. Like I am the resource for splits. Tim, you're confusing me. What are you doing, Tim? Tim's on Team Massive Iron. I have a workout PDF section and an article section. And Tim, like all my stuff is over there. So please check that out. And that has, I think I got, if there's a split I don't have on there, let me know. I'll put it on there. How do you adjust nutrition for early morning workouts? I don't want to train fasted, but I don't. Well, some of this has to do with the time you get up and the time you work out. So, early morning workout, I would assume you're out of bed, taking a pee, getting your dressy clothes on, looking sexy, and rolling towards the gym, whether it's a home gym or commercial gym. And I assume there's probably maybe a half an hour of downtime max. So, what the protocol I recommend is in the morning, we're low on water and low on electrolytes. Being low on sodium or salt is probably the biggest. I don't know why my nose itches today. Sorry, I'm not picking it. Maybe I got one of those big old man nose hairs up there. So in the morning, we're low on water and we're low on sodium. And those, like being low on salts, can really impact our energy. So when you get up, it's probably good to pound water straight out of bed. Like this is 16 ounces? At least, half of one of these straight out of bed, and then kind of sippy sip. You don't want to go on super mega bloated, right? But I would pound half of one of these and then just sippy sip as you're driving along and, or walking your home gym or whatever you do. You could also put a little sodium in here. You don't want to overdo it. I actually use LMNT, Element. It is something you can put in your water, and you can hit that straight out of bed as well. It tastes good. I have no affiliation with them, but I think it's a good product, and you can hit that straight out of bed. They get your electrolytes, get your water in you. Now, we don't want to go into a workout with a lot of food in our stomach because it's not going to digest. Understand that your body is going to try to utilize blood most efficiently. And when you're working out, it's going to use the blood in the muscles and less in the stomach, probably to a substantial degree. So whatever you enter the gym with in your stomach's probably going to sit in your stomach for the most part while working out. Now, working out, if you tend to sit a little bit and cool down, the digestive processes are probably going to go a little bit, but then you have this constant switching, digestion, workout. Your body's kind of in a confusion mode. I don't think we want that tug of war. So if we are going to do anything, we want to probably have fast digesting carbs straight out of bed. Now, do you have to take like a fast digesting carb powder? I don't know if that's your thing, right? But if you're going to do anything, that's the time to maybe do some simple sugars like a Little Debbie, maybe 200 calories of something with a lot of simple sugars, just to get some glycogen in your system. You can also do, you don't want to do really fibrous fruit, I wouldn't think, because that takes a while to digest. Your body has to digest all the stuff around the carbs. It has to fight for it. It's harder to get. So you really want something that's easier to digest, and that would be probably a simple sugar. But I would probably have that straight out of bed. And then immediately after your workout, probably some protein and some carbs again. I'm a dad. What's your superpower? Morning mass monsters and massive mammals hit a dip PR of a body weight plus 15. You know what? It's a 3-day weekend in America. There's going to be a lot of dipping, if you know what I mean, like dipping chips in your salsa and your nacho cheese. Tim doesn't like nacho cheese. I'm just letting you out, letting some of the secrets of Team Massive Iron out. But that's really good. Nice work. And you're on a good track. The dip can often be an ego type of lift where guys won't really control it and they'll slap on a lot of weight. And, I'm happy to see people building strength in reps, because that's the golden path. Man, if you can get 3 sets of 10 to 12 with 90 pounds on a dip, and they're really quality controlled reps, you're strong, right? And that's the kind of strong I like. Proximity to failure. How much do we need to think about this in the massive iron world? On sets that are called for, we push each set for as many quality reps as possible, stopping the set when we feel like we might fail on the next rep or when form is going to break down. So on sets that are called for, we have to do this. We don't think about failure. We think about as many quality reps as possible. So on a bench, you can pretty much do all you want. You're not going to be punished. On a dumbbell row or barbell row or seated cable row or lat pull down, pretty much the same thing. The only thing that's going to do is our speed's going to slow. And we've kind of hit mechanical failure. You can do some Englishy reps at that point. I wouldn't count them in your rep total. You can do them, and they're generally not going to beat your body up. Squats and deadlifts, you really have to be more cognizant. You have to stop when you really feel form going south, because usually your lower back's going to take a beating. But that's the focus. I stay aware of what I did last time. And say I got a 9 on a set of curls. I know I really want 10. If I can get it safely on that day, I'm going to get it. I'm going to go for it. But not every day is like that, right? And that's okay. Joy, I'm going to give you some massive iron swag today. So hit me up on Instagram at Ben the Barman, or Gmail me, benthebarman@gmail.com. What life lessons did you learn in the Army that you'd like to share? Well, I grew up without a father. I shared some of my story earlier, and I was basically a latchkey kid. Feed yourself, do whatever. As long as you don't die, mom's happy, right? So, we did what Generation X did. We went outside and got in a little bit of trouble and came in and ate our bologna and cheese and potato chip sandwiches. But when I got in the Army, I learned discipline, and I learned how to be a part of a team. And I learned not to tolerate my own excuses. You didn't get to tolerate excuses. It was move, soldier, move. Right? I'm not sure what the Army is nowadays, but that's how it was in my day. Move. Pick them up, put them down. Do not give a fuck about your situation. Soldier, move. So I think that's probably the most valuable thing I learned in my life, not to tolerate my own bullshit. I learned that I'm capable of driving forward, and I don't have to tolerate my own bullshit. I was driving home listening to a Joe Rogan podcast yesterday, which I don't do often, but I happened to catch it yesterday. And he was talking about Jocko Willink. And Joe was talking about a video where Jocko says, good. If something bad in your life happens, good. This is an opportunity for me to provide a solution that's going to make me a stronger person. I want to see if I can play that video for you guys. So hold on. I want to play that for you, because this is an important mindset. And this is probably going to get me banned. It's probably going to get this video demonetized. I don't give 8 fucks about the $20 or whatever, these things do or whatever. I'm not into that. I don't really care. But I want to play this video for you guys. Just watch it. Let me get past the commercials. I don't want to have to torture you guys with the commercial. So hold on one second. But I want you guys to watch this. All right, here we go. I'm going to get this off. And I'm going to get this up. And I'm going to present screen share. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, ready? Just listen. You guys get the picture, but I like that concept. I liked what I heard in that video, because it's an important lesson in mindset, in shifting the mindset. like coming back, being resilient, coming back stronger, coming back bigger. Failure is a big part of success, right? You have to fail a lot before you can rebuild enough to be successful. So sometimes we have to tear ourselves down enough so we can come back strong enough to achieve what we want. That's one of the beautiful things about muscle building. You miss that lift today, good. Let's see you come back stronger next week. Let's see you come back stronger, more determined. Thoughts on heavy? No, and I don't like heavy isolations. Not a good idea. You're just not built for it. It's going to slow progress. And isolations, we're going more for progression in the feel zone. There can be some cases where you're doing like a drop set of laterals, or you work up to a heavy set of side laterals where it's like 35 pounds for 6 to 8 reps, and then you do a drop set, but not as meat and potatoes. You really got to be careful with that. Isolation exercises and low reps can kind of, they're not the best dance partners. Who do you think has the absolute best natural achievable physique? Really, any of these guys are achievable. And, achieving it, like we talk so much about, I'm pouring some water in my stuff here. We talk so much about natural potential, and I think any of them are achievable, but we have to frame that really in the reality that the road is deviously long and hard and brutal, and not many of them will survive. That's just reality. Not being negative, but some of us aren't going to survive for whatever reason. Maybe we can't handle it. Maybe we get injured. Maybe we don't like the feeling of heavy weights. Whatever the case is, some of this is luck. Like I'm almost 56, and if you watch me train, I'm not trying to elevate myself, but I trained the same way I did when I was 20, and I'm able to, and some of that's just luck, I think. Sure, I've been smart. I don't do stupid crap in the gym. But still, when I go in there and I'm doing dumbbell bench with 120s like I did yesterday, I'm still, there's going to be one day where I'm like 62 and something's going to snap up, right? It's just the law of the jungle. You can't be the apex predator forever, and some of us, we get bit earlier than others. So, natural, whether you can get there or you can get 90% or 80%, the road's still going to be brutally hard. It's brutally hard. And if you're not currently feeling the road is brutally hard, you're probably not even on the road, right? When I give my clients a program, I don't tell them this, but if there's not a degree of this is hard, then we're probably not on the right path. Not a circus act. We don't want to punish you and beat you up, but there has to be a degree of when you step into the gym, like, okay, I'm entering battle, right? Focus, game face. It's time to get it on. And some people don't like that feeling. Some people don't thrive in it. They think it's too hard, or they're going to look for an easier way. And that's the cancer of muscle building. There has to be you have to be able to go into the gym 3 or 4 times a week and throw fists. You need to be in there and ready, engaging in warfare. And again, I'm not talking about circus acts and ego lifting and things that are going to endanger you, but you got to get under heavy weight and you got to move it and push it and warm up properly and attack. And it's a dance. Some sets you have to pull back by a rep. Something might be a little tweaky weaky in your chest and you got to pull back, but you don't know what's going to happen in the next set. So it's like constant adjustments. It's like a fight or a chess match, right? But you don't, you have to be smart and you have to be savvy, but you have to be savage. And people often ask me, like, one of the core pillars of Massive Iron is evolving training based on needs. You can't teach that shit. It just happens when you're in battle. Like set number 1, the chest is off and I got to adjust on chest number 2. And what do? You can't assume you just adjust on the fly, but you got to be smart and you got to be safe. And the goal is to not just survive the fight, but to be able to continue to survive the fight day in and day out for 10 years. Do you think taking a cyclical bait? No. I mean, do I have some of my clients on some 5-week, 3-week cyclical approaches? The real strong guys, but it's a very it's guys that are pretty strong already, and we're looking to like squeeze out 1 or 2 reps out of every cycle to slowly bring up a stubborn lift. So for the average individual, my reaction was no, because for the average individual, this is just way overthinking. Changing percentages every week. It requires a long-term mindset, and it requires a lot of discipline, and it's a program you're going to have to stick out for a long period of time. And it's really not necessary. It's not necessary for 99% of us out there. So can it be beneficial? Well, here we are chasing, like, we have the standards, right? And Tim, you're in a good place. You're a perfect example. You're crushing the standards. You're crushing the basics. And that's where I was. And you can run that out ad nauseum. At some point when you really, really get strong and you're getting close enough, would cycling a lift be beneficial? Well, it could be possibly beneficial in many ways, right? You get a mental or physical break from the intensity. You get different challenges. Sometimes just the act of adding in different challenges motivates us. And it's something called the training effect, where you have a new variable, you're likely to perform better. It can have advantages and be beneficial, but you really want to run the living hell out of the basics until you grind those gears down to nothing. Joy, what's on your bucket list? Buddy boy. What's up, buddy? Where you at, big buddy? Come here, buddy. Come here. You gotta come closer. Oh, see, though. I want to get out west again. I want to get back to Scotland again. And I want to finish writing my book. Those are the big things. It's important to me to, I want to become a better teacher, and I want to get my philosophies out there, and I want to finish my book. Those are on my bucket list. What are you yawning for? You've been sleeping all day, you little. Yeah, you're the best boy. Joy, as a health and fitness community, is there anything we wish we would talk more about? There's a lot of things that come up on a daily basis. I think mental strength and mental health are important. I think in the internet age, in the age of social media, there's a lot of weird things, a lot of attention. We see the best of the best, and that comes with lifts as well. We have a false sense of reality when it comes to what it means to be okay. what it means to have reasonable success. And I think we talk so much about like things like natural limits or huge lifts, when in reality, if each of you could just gain 15 pounds of muscle, lean out, and hit a 275 bench, 350 squat, and 400 dead, you'd be pretty damn strong and you'd look pretty damn good. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, that's considered mediocre by so many in this industry or by some influencer standards. And I think that's a shame. I think a lot of the things we need to discuss are being discussed, but they're the minority. Like, we get so caught up in chasing specific diets. And the reality is, if we would just focus on animal and plant-based for the most part, we'd be fine. You know, we focus on bodybuilding focuses on too much paranoia, the fear of losing gains. Like if you do too much cardio or you don't sleep properly or you don't time your meals, it's all bullshit, folks. It's all fucking bullshit. Now, you might think, this sounds like an anti-science guy saying that good sleep is bullshit and meal timing is bullshit and even protein intake is bullshit and it's all bullshit. Well, I'm not being ignorant here. I'm not saying there isn't a smart and reasonable time to, you know, take your food intake or, you know, to eat post-workout. And I'm not saying good sleep doesn't impact you. It does. But when we start to view ourselves as so fragile that we become paranoid, we've really, really done a disservice to health and fitness and mental health in general. The body is not that fucking fragile. If you look over the course of 5 to 10 years, the number of years it's going to take you to get strong and look good, and you know, I mean, that's reasonable. A lot of things are going to happen. You're not going to have shitty sleep every day. Cardio is certainly not going to limit your gains. The key thing here is that if you train hard, progressively overload, train hard, and nail your consistency and nail your calories, you're going to grow. Sleep might be inconsistent. Meal timing might be inconsistent. Stress might be inconsistent. All these things are going to come and go. But if over 5 to 10 years you crush your training and your progression, even if your protein intake is slightly inconsistent, you're going to be about the same place as the guy next to you because the body's not that fucking fragile. Does that make sense? So we kind of worry about one bad day instead of seeing the big picture. Now, if you have severe sleep issues and they're lasting for 4 to 5 years, you need to seek help, right? Obviously, if you can't get your protein intake up most of the time, then you probably have an imbalanced diet and you have another issue. But like the paranoia we live in where, oh my goodness, I had 120 grams of protein one day and my sleep was off. All gains are lost and I did cardio. This is all bullshit, folks. Stein, what's going on? Happy Friday, Stein. Thanks for tuning in. Steel Rat, happy Friday. Appreciate you guys joining in. Big Tim, been doing a banana about 45 hours before workouts. It should be fine. If you don't feel off, that's fine. You know, a banana, half a banana, that's what I used to recommend if somebody didn't want to take simple sugars. It's reasonable to get something in your body. Could you talk a bit about conventional versus sumos, pros, cons, and differences? Now, The deadlift is a unicorn lift, and this is something I mention because if I say it's a back heavy lift, people assume it's a back lift and not a quad lift and not a this lift and not a that lift. It's an everything lift, but it really, really stresses the back and traps. Sumo or conventional because of the tension placed on the upper back and yoke. It's a huge stressor. Now, they are two different lifts as far as setup. In a sumo, you want to get as upright as possible, right? That requires the hips to get lower, and you want to drive straight up and maintain that discipline so the hips aren't doing this. In a sumo, if the hips are doing this out of the gate, you're going to have a tendency to lower back round because your head and your weight's getting too far in front of the bar. So a sumo, you want to get upright and you want to think about pulling up and back as you pull. Okay? Now, to a degree, you want to think about pulling up and back as you pull on a conventional deadlift. But a conventional deadlift, you want the shoulders, the center of the shoulder a little bit in front of the center of the bar, just by a little bit. And that's a better leverage position. If your hips are too low on a conventional, it'll throw you forward as you pull because your body's trying to seek a good leverage position. So if you're too upright and you pull, it's going to have a tendency to push those hips up and you'll push your momentum forward and it'll be harder to maintain good discipline and leverages on a conventional. The same thing if your weight is too far forward, if your shoulders are too far in front of the bar, your weight's already forward, and then because it's already too far forward, when you pull, the hips are going to go up because your body's trying to basically work you out, talk you out of doing that lift, but you're going to fight that, right? So there are two different lifts as far as setups and execution, and that's something that many people don't understand, but they're far different types of lifts. All right, guys, we are 1 hour in. I'm going to keep rolling. Keep your questions coming. I'll stay on as long as you have questions. Just a reminder, if you need coaching, head over to superlivingtoday.com. If you need a workout or weight crate or whey protein or creatine or anything, please check out my website, superlivingtoday.com. I'm not trying to be – I got some really great apparel. I'm not trying to be a supplement company. Where were we? But I have good stuff that I use, stuff that a lot of my clients use, and stuff that a lot of Team Massive members use. And again, I make like $5 on a t-shirt, $5 on a whey protein. I'm not trying to be a supplement company, but if you want to support one of the little guys, I have products at superlivingtoday.com. What you doing, buddy boy? Are you all warm now? Do you think 6 to 8 reps might be reasonable range? Yeah, on the low end. I'd still do some volume, maybe a couple back off sets with a little bit lighter. Attempted to superset dips and dumbbell bench. I don't know. I'd probably do dumbbell bench first, but either way is probably fine. That's going to be pretty brutal, so enjoy the brutality. Big Bad Tim. First time working in neutral grip pull-ups. Got 766. Plan to do a DDP, dynamic double progression, where I progress through each individually. Yeah, sounds good, man. You got a plan, you got progression. Stick to good form, clean form, and you're good to go. Rico, what's going on, Rico? Joy, I've been eating 1/20th of a cup of each of rice green. You mean a half cup? I assume you mean a half cup. Rice, green beans, tricolored beans, and a serving of meat for dinner. Yeah, he said, I'm surprised at how eating whole foods keep me full. Big difference. Big difference. If when you just eat whole foods or real foods, you're eating a lot more food volume, pretty much no matter what you're eating. Anthony, I can't go to the gym one time. I can go to the gym one time every week and at home with easy bar and spin locks and lots of plates. Some weeks, one time, sometimes two. So at home, you have an easy bar and spin locks, so you have dumbbells. You don't have a barbell. I don't know if you have a bench. I need to know more, Anthony, to be able to help you out. So if you could maybe flesh that out or hit me up on email or Instagram. Man-to-man advice. How many days in a row can you wear the same pants? Depends on if you're married or single. It's just humor. Wow. There are some times where I wear the same jeans like, I don't know, 3 or 4 days. If you have to get to the point where you're unsure and you have to do the sniff test on the butt, if I'm just sitting here in the cool working, I might just wear the same jeans during the day and then go work out and shower. But I'm never going to risk skanky ass being around my wife. So whatever you do, you need to have a backup locked and loaded. And when you're going to go out and be with your significant other, you better have a clean ass, right? You better have a clean ass. That's my biggest concern. Like a clean ass is the most important thing. You better clean that nasty ass, right? So you don't have that funk, because ain't nobody want to smell your ass funk in the gym, out in public. So if you maintain that good, maintain that clean booty hole, then everything else is going to fall into place. I'm now able to do a 5x15 hanging leg raise with good form. So hanging leg raise would be a progression from hanging knee raise. I think the progression from there is trying to do the same with bringing your knees towards your face or bringing your toes towards your face. Does that make sense? Kind of bringing it up more. I believe that would be a progression. If anybody else has any other ideas, just drop them in. I'm constantly fighting overthinking and perfectionism. Would appreciate some sort of motivational rant. You're being a bitch, for starters. You're being a bitch. You're not trusting the process. This is very common. You are seeking magic rather than trusting hard work. Like the program I put you on is going to take you to glory. It takes everybody to glory if they work it. But if you doubt it, it's going to take you to Shitsville. You doubt your training, you're fucked. Excuse my language, what he called for a rant, but you doubt your training, you're fucked. You doubt your partner, you're fucked. You doubt your job, you're fucked. Right? You need to be all in until you aren't all in. I mean, at some point we have to mature, and I'm just being honest with you. Like these people that go to their jobs and they bitch about my coworkers, my boss. I got news for you guys. You're not the boss, and they're human beings, and they're going to be fucking dipshits, right? And if you expect people not to be dipshits, you're a bigger dipshit than the dipshits, right? So get the fuck over it. And we're talking about jobs. What does this have to do with lifting? We'll circle back. You want a rant? I'm going to give you a rant. If you are at a job and Susie next to you isn't doing this and your boss isn't doing that, and you're like, ugh, right? It's okay, buddy. You're a bigger dipshit than they are because you're expecting human beings not to be dipshits. And I was going to say you need a little Jesus or Buddha or something some degree of wisdom. You need to understand that if you put yourself in a position where you're not in control, you're allowing other things to be in control. You're failing. You're opening. You're mentally weak. You're opening the door to mental weakness, training, work, whatever. Opening the door, right? Opening the door and lifting, not worrying about your hard work, not trusting in your hard work. You have one job when you go to work. You have one job when you go to the gym. That's to keep your nose to the motherfucking grindstone and to do what the program says. You waste time and worry about what your coworkers are doing, what they're eating for lunch, or that they pick their nose or take a 20-minute dump. You're wasting your mental strength and energy when you could be focusing then on being the best fucking thing you can be at your job. You go to the gym and you start to doubt, maybe there's other exercises that are better than this one, right? You're wasting your time. You're wasting what you're doing. It's the same shit. Overthinking, you have to come to the understanding that processing and evolving is a good thing. Wanting better is a good thing. But if you are constantly overthinking, you're in the failure zone, right? If you're constantly worrying about all this stuff, then you're not putting your energy into, you're not fully invested in doing your best. And doing your best is going to create success. That doesn't mean you can't improve your job situation. That doesn't mean you can't improve your workout, but you get in there and you grind it out and you make adjustments based on feel and what you like and don't like. Not some random article you read on the fucking internet with some fairy tale that's over the fence and over the rainbow, right? When I worked in the supplement industry, did I like everything about the supplement industry? Fuck no. I must have lost my voice. Fuck no. Did I run around like a bitch saying, I don't believe they're selling this supplement? Fuck no. What I did do was my job, right? I went in and I gave you guys articles on the best workouts and information I could, and I never bent. I was a professional. Lifting, we have to be professionals. We go in, we have a plan, we have a progression plan, we punch the fucking clock. There's no room for your boo-boo baby feelings. Weight feels heavy, fuck you. I don't feel like lifting, fuck you. The guy next to me is picking his ass and doing whatever and texting, fuck him, fuck you. Who cares? Get in there, punch the clock, do the work. Evolve training based on needs. Perfectionism is a lie. What we need to do is maximize our day. I feel tired. Who gives a fuck? Maximize what you can do. The guy next to me in the gym is distracting. Who gives a fuck? Maximize what you can do. There might be a better curl, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Well, today, maximize your fucking workout. And then next week, try a different curl variation. And then weigh in our little monkey brains which one was better. Stop overthinking. Start testing. Start training. Does that make sense? All right. Which lifestyle do you think is harder to give up and why? Smoker to quit smoking. That's a damn good question. I know smoking is extremely hard to give up. I know it is. I'm not making excuses. Let's see if I can adjust my camera. I'm never making excuses, but as a coach, I can tell you it's hard for people to change. It really, really is. Like if somebody comes to me and they're obese and they're not willing to exercise, I got like a 0% chance of success. Literally a zero. Folks that don't see the value of physical exercise have like a 0% chance. Like it's so trivial. It's ridiculous. I had somebody come to me last week, a referral from a client. And he's way overweight. I don't know. Into the 300s. Who cares at that point, right? It's just a highway to, casket either way. Just being real. And he texts me and he says, I don't like to exercise. And I'm like, this guy's fucked. This guy's fucked. Yeah, if you don't see the value in exercise, I've never seen anybody be successful at sustaining weight loss that doesn't see the value of movement in some form. They're just walking every morning. They're just hand in hand. So, I think a smoker knows that's bad. I would say smokers, mostly when they mature, they desperately want to quit, and it's more of a struggling with the habit. Where I think being obese is more of a comfort zone. And I'm not judging, because comfort is hard to find in life. Let's be real. It's hard to find security and comfort and where you can just take a deep breath, right? And just have pleasure and not pain. Life can be very, very painful. And yes, smoking can provide some relaxation to individuals, but I think food can have a greater impact. It's more immediate, So I think it's harder to lose weight, especially if somebody doesn't want to exercise. Anthony, if you compare 1 year of lifting as a late beginner versus in terms of mass, how much difference in percentages between 2 and 3 days? Lifting twice in 3 days, I don't think it's much at all. I think if you're training hard, maybe 20%, I don't know. This is all theoretical. But the point is, the bigger picture in all of this is I don't like to play fantasy games. This is just all mental masturbation, and it's useless. It's useless. How much more mass am I going to build if I train 2 days per week for 3? It's all mental masturbation. Here's what we all need to focus on. I'm going to give everything I can. Every week of my life, I'm going to maximize within all my capabilities and facilities. If you do this over the course of 5 to 10 years, you're going to have a lot of mass and a lot of strength. No one plays theoretical games. Honestly, the people playing theoretical games are the people that aren't gaining. I'm just being real here. We need to stop worrying about this shit. We need to be obsessed with hard training. If you took me as a beginner, if I took 10 of you as a beginner, and I got 1 year to maximize muscle mass, and only 2 workouts, we are going to get it done. We are going to get it done. Because it is here, right, that powers progress. It is the heart and the head, the passion. If something is 6 feet in front of you and you want it desperately, and I put up a 20-foot wall between you and that thing, and you have a year to get it, you're going to find a way to get through that cinder block wall, even if it's smashing your skull in the same spot every day for a year. We need to get over the obsession with micromanaging all the little buttons and pieces and parts and optimization and tweaking. And if I wanted to train only 2 days a week, what little levers and buttons and tweaks and twerks and bullshit would I twist around and turn around and do this and alter and change and blah, blah, fucking de blah. We need to get our heads out of that, our fucking asses, and understand it is about passion and hard work over a long period of time. Stop worrying about percentages. Start worrying about your fucking hard training. I mean this with love. A man, a woman, a being, a sentient being, whatever you happen to be, should be more concerned about their passion and their hard work. All good things flow from that. You do not hear entrepreneurs going, I only have 2 days a week to dedicate to my side business versus 3. What's the percentage difference of gains that I'm going to potentially make? No. Be a force of nature. Maximize what you can and trust in the long run. It's going to take you to the same damn place. Do you guys think, I almost clicked the next question. Do you guys think that if you train hard 2 days a week, like hard, like just ripping it up with passion and everything you can safely, that after 365 days, you're not going to see really good progress? If you give me 2 days a week to train, I am going to wring everything out of it I can. And when you are wringing everything out of it you can, and you compare yourself to the 364 other jokers in the gym that are doing bullshit and bouncy reps off their chest and front raises and not seeing jack shit for results, where are you going to be after a year? BCA pretty cheap and not a lot of calories. I think the BCA net goes wide, meaning you need to really understand where your weaknesses are in your diet and pay attention to that if you're new as a vegan. And just make sure you fill in the holes. So whatever you need to fill in the holes with, do research in the vegan community, see what everybody else is filling the holes with. That's what I would do. Right? That's what I would do. Like, are there plant-based BC? I don't, what? I'm so confused right now. I'm so confused. BCAs can come from both plant and animal based. I've just never recall there being a vegan BCAA. So that's mentally I was trying to process all this. All right. Pringle cake. If you went to the gym away from your routine for a fun workout, what would be your 5 go-to exercises? That wouldn't be fun for me. I'm just being real. My idea of fun is I'm usually doing the same exercises. I mean, if my idea of fun is doing a different protocol, like I might do a bulldozer protocol on bench. Or last 2 weeks I did how many sets of 20s can I get on bench? I failed to get it on the second set with 225. My idea of fun isn't changing exercises, it's changing strategies. Joy, what, was, are your top 5 sources of carbohydrates, and what would you recommend to someone when they are dieting? Trying to lose fat? When you're trying to lose fat, the key is number one, you want to focus on lean proteins as much as possible. That'll push your food volume up and allow you to eat more calories. Lean proteins, it's not that fat is evil, but when you're trying to diet, by eating more lean proteins, it just spares you more animal fat, and you can spend that on more carbotrons and other things. So you want to raise your protein to about 40%, 35 to 40% of your calories during a diet. So you're gonna have to rely on lean proteins. You probably want to pull your fats down to 20%, and then you're gonna have to fill in the gaps with a lot of plant-based products that aren't plant-based choices that are not super calorie dense as a base. Strawberries and spinach and jalapeno peppers and onions and green peppers and bok choy and whatever your thing is. And from there, when I go to carbohydrates, it's a complex carbohydrates. It's okay to have a little like oatmeal or rice or taters or quinoa or whatever you want. But that's the basics of nutrition. When you're dieting, your top 5 carb sources are basically anything that provides food volume that you like when we talk about veggies. Now, fruit and veggies, when we talk about eating fruit and veggies, we tend to immediately go to broccoli or cauliflower or carrots or things we don't particularly care for. I want you guys to change that mindset. When we are thinking about plant-based choices, think about things you like. What do I like? Onions, jalapeno peppers, tomatoes. I like berry blend, like strawberries and blueberries and blackberries. I like fun plant-based foods, things that are fun for me. What are fun for you? You don't have to eat a lot of broccoli, right? You can take your meat and your rice, and you can toss in jalapeno peppers and onions and whatever really you want, sliced green pepper. You can really get fun with it, right? So that's an important thing. I keep the complex carbs simple when dieting. Big Jonathan, would it be okay to run the Big Small in 1 week as a 4-day program? I don't know that I would do the Big Small. I think every other day would be okay. That would probably be the minimum that I would recommend. I don't like deadlifting more than once a week, so you might want to alternate it for the deadlift every other session. Big Bob Fish, I'm sure I've heard you say before you don't like to do any bicep involved work the day before deadlifts. That's true. We do not want to do biceps work the day before back work, pulling work, or deadlifts. Does this apply if I were to do stiff leg deadlifts the day after chins and cable rows? Not generally. It's mostly the biceps you don't do before pull work, meaning back work, because you don't want to do barbell rows or seated cable rows or pull-ups with fatigued biceps. I don't really want them before deadlifts either, but not a lot of people are rolling their biceps on stiff leg deadlifts. If your biceps are sore, you probably don't want to do an RDL or stiff leg deadlift. So just be smart. Jonathan, any news on the new app? Yes, all kinds of news. We met on Sunday for an hour. We're building a training app. This is a real thing. You have strong and you have heavy. We're building a competitor there that we are working on making it the best workout tracker, and we're adding in tracking and reports and analytics, and we're going to have the ability to have pre-built workouts from other coaches, all kinds of things, tools, things. The basic features, we're looking at for free, just like tracking a workout. And then there's going to be tons of advanced features like reports. Like you have the ability to buy somebody else. Like we're not going to let every Tom, Dick, and Harry put workouts on there. So we're going to allow, somebody that's reputable to maybe put workouts in the store. We want social things, features, like a Facebook feed where you can follow your friends and follow their workouts and follow their pictures, like an Instagram-y feed. But this isn't going to be bot driven, right? You're going to be paying like $9.99 a month, and then you can follow people you want to follow, right? Friends, gym members, and the reports are going to be really, really rich. So you'll be able to see, like, how is my bench performance when I run cable tricep extensions as an assistance exercise versus JM press? How's my bench performance when I'm bulking at 2 pounds per month as opposed to 0, right? We're going to take all the data from all the lifters, and you'll be able to analyze that in any way you want. Now, their data we're not going to assign names with their data. This is just cumulative data, like what's the average bench press progression for 50-year-olds per year? What's the average bench press progression for 40-year-olds per year, right? We're going to have endless rich analytics, every way to slice and dice whatever you want. People that run this program see this average rate of increase in bench press. People that run this bench press program see this rate of average, right? This can all be based on what you guys are doing in the gym. So these are all bonus features. I don't know what it's going to be, $9.99 a month, $12.99 a month, whatever it's going to be. We want to stay really competitive. We're not trying to be the biggest app. We're just trying to be the most badass. Give you guys stuff you want, because the problem with all these lifting apps is they're too broad. We don't want to be broad. We don't want to be my fitness friend, right? We want to cater to strength and muscle building, people that care about strength and muscle building and progress and numbers and progression. And but we also want to have the social community, but we also want to have the coach for you to have the ability to sign on with a coach in the app. Okay. So you can sign on with a coach, and then the coach can coach you in the app on desktop, on computer, or on the app. So that coach can then assign you a workout, right? And you can determine whether you want your stuff to be private, public, whatever. It's your app. But the coach can then coach you in the app, and just like all the other coaching apps. So that's going to be a side aspect to this. Where, like I said, reputable coaches will also have a coaching store where you can buy, just like a movie on Amazon. I'm going to buy their program for $9.99 or whatever it is, whatever they want to sell it for. Free market, right? You can buy it, you can run it. And maybe running it comes with access to be able to ask, questions in a group or whatever. Coaches will have that flexibility. So there's going to be a lot of good possibilities, but what we want to do is nail the in-gym workout tracker first. If that's not solid, then nothing else matters. So that's where we're focused right now. And that's where our energy has been right now. And we spent an hour last week on the phone talking about it. We should have a functional beta available by the end of the year. When we do, we're probably going to open it up to Team Massive members first, just as a private closed test, and then we'll get everybody's feedback, what they like, what they don't like, what do we want changed. And then from there, we're probably going to do something where maybe we're discussing, it's not carved in stone yet. Maybe 100 people, the first 100 people to pay $49.99, get all features for life, and they get the beta test it, and they get to be involved with the beta. So what we're looking at there is like bringing in some initial cash just to cover everything, to get it in the store, to give our startup costs, etc. And then, from there, I don't want to turn this into like an app where we have so many features that it's, we're just chasing features. I want this to all be about lifting and workouts and tracking and analytics and community. You know what I'm saying? So that's really going to be the wheelhouse. We're looking at having, really something ready by the end of the year, and it's moving along quite nicely. We are looking at bringing in a second programmer, and we're doing this all for nothing right now, just out of the love of the game. So I can't make any promises, but right now, if you ask me how exciting and good does this look, it's like, hey, as of today, this is going to happen, and we're going to make it a good thing. What do you consider more important, nutrition in the few hours before an intense workout, or it's the bigger picture? I mean, you have to have consistency is more important. So, like after the gym, there's benefits to eating. Start the recovery process. Your body's hungry to get to it. Before the gym, it's more consistency. Are you feeling okay? I would be consistent. I don't want your insulin spiking all over the place or your electrolytes all over the place or whatever. We have to be consistent, whatever that happens to be. You don't want to train fasted for 3 days and then on 2 donuts for a day. It's better to be consistent. Does that make sense? Harut, happy Friday, Harut. And Brendan Gatorade, first day without coffee. Will I survive? The likelihood is 100%. Well, 99.9999%. Will you enjoy it? Likelihood 0. So, all right, let me get a drink and we'll keep moving on. All righty. All right, we're rolling today, guys. You got a lot of great questions, and keep it rolling. Rasim, did I pronounce that correctly? What do you think about this 5-day hybrid split? Upper, lower, push-pull legs. Been there, done that, bought the program. What I mean is, I've seen it many times before. It can be good. Solid approach. This has to be structured properly. Is it okay to have losing my voice, asymmetric sessions? 4 back exercises on pull day, but only 2. Yeah, that's the way it's going to shake out. Upper is probably best to do chest, delts, back. Bing, bam, boom, right? So you're going to have like 2 for delts, 2 for chest, 2 for back. Lower, you're going to have leggies. You might want to work in some arms on there as well, like a tricep and bicep exercise. Then push, you're going to have back and biceps. Pull, you're going to have, push, you're going to have chest, delts, and triceps. Pull, you're going to have back and biceps, and then legs. But just consider the overall weekly volume. Plenty of room to make that work. Denver. I'm a caregiver for my partner and child, plus working full time. Only got a curl bar and adjustable dumbbell with plates. What could I do? Well, these are what I call very unique situations, and there's not a lot of programs for unique situations. Adjustable dumbbells, there's a lot you can do from a pulling and pushing standpoint. You know, lat focused dumbbell rows and pullovers and overhead presses and dumbbell bench presses, and you can do dips, and you can do inverted rows, and you can do pull-ups, and you can do push-ups, and you can do body weight stuff, and you can do supersets with them, and you can do rest pause with this, and you can obviously get in plenty of arm work. So we got a lot of stuff we can do with the upper body. Lower body is going to be more challenging. You obviously have lunges and Bulgarian split squats, and you can load a little bit with your dumbbells, maybe even working supersets. But, you know, I think there's a lot you can do. It's not optimal, but again, we're living in a world where we're trying to maximize what we can do. So it's hard for me, you know, just in like 2 minutes to cover and build a complete program. But that's honestly the sort of thing that you would benefit from having somebody design a program. I'm not begging for people to do custom workouts, but if you need a custom workout and it's worth the money and you have the money, you know, it's worthwhile. But there's a lot you can do with dumbbells. So, Joy, Neo, how's it going, Neo? Good to see you. Roger, in theory, knowing it's not actually healthy, when a natural eats like yeah, I mean, calories and protein, man. I got pretty darn strong eating like a piggy. You know, so absolutely. Calories and protein, calories and protein, calories and protein. Is your body going to break down eventually if you don't get enough nutrients? Yeah, of course. We need more than calories and macronutrients. We also need nutrients. But, you know, most of us that are in that pig world are eating burgers or something, you know, with nutrients. We're getting them somewhere a little bit. Paladin, happy Friday. I have no questions because Team answered them all. Thanks for joining in. Roger, could you also do the 2-day John Christie in a massive iron weight collection for home gymmers? I have a John Christie. Let's see. Massive iron. Let's see if I can find the video. I think I have one up. I've done so much. I have a one you can buy. And I got, if you search Tiger Fitness, there's the massive iron 531 power building method. But yeah, I'll think about it. I've done it before. Like when we get into doing stuff with home gymmers, it can become a little bit tricky because we get into the world where like equipment varies, you know, so it can be a little bit more challenging. Amber, can you do a Nordic curl? No. Nordic curl, no. Do you think it's a good exercise? In theory, but in the real world, exactly 0.1% can do a complete set of 10. So what I like is a better real world choice is a hamstring curl on a back extension station. I got a video about this. It's actually a reel. And let me try to find it for you, sexy people. Hold on, don't go anywhere. Give me about 2.3 seconds. 2.3 seconds, and I'll try to find it. And let's see if the old YouTube likes me and will recommend me. Oh, YouTube, I hate you, YouTube. Now I got to go in and do this. And then I got to go to the thing and do the thing. And I got to go to the site and do the thing and do the search. There's a search back extension on mine. And there we go. All right, I found it. Hold on. I want to help you guys. So this is what I recommend. Most gyms have a back extension station. We're getting there. And I'm going to remove this. On a back extension station, you can do a glute ham raise where you pop up and the last bit's a curl. I love this exercise. Super underrated. Just listen. All right, if you're looking for a quality way to work your hamstrings and you need some other choices other than leg curls and Romania deadlifts, look for the back extension station in your gym. You can do a glute ham raise on a back extension station. Now here you can see what I do is I go down, touch the floor, and when you pop up, instead of just simply doing a back extension, you pop up until your shoulders are over your knees. This way, at the end, you're getting a little bit of hamstring curl, working the hamstrings pretty hard. Now, take your time on these. Don't rush them. You want to be very controlled and get a good hamstring feel, a good hamstring contraction on the way up. That's it, sexy people. I think it's a very underrated exercise. And Nordic curls, if you can do them, do them. Not a lot of people can do them. So I just think that's a super underrated choice. Anything worth doing with TRX? Yeah, man. I had a TRX in my home gym. You do TRX rows, like inverted rows. You can do TRX push-ups. You can do TRX tricep extensions. Those are tough. You can do TRX curls. Those are tough. There can be a lot of really good TRX exercises. You can do almost a TRX leverage squat is kind of a superset with lunges. Yeah, there's some good choices out there. And for the price you pay for like a door unit, it's relatively inexpensive for the exercise variety you get. And that to me makes it a super good value. Albert, out of 10 guys, how many will reach close? 0. It's just, I don't know, you go to a gym, a commercial gym. I see a lot of guys, in my new gym that are doing pretty good, but it's 80% maybe 1 in 20, 1 in 30 lift. I don't know. It's hard to judge. There's a lot of guys close, that have built a lot of good mass. What is the worst experience you've had at a commercial gym? I can't say that I've had a lot of bad experiences. There have been some that have been like Bruce Banner, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry, right? Like little things tend to trigger me, like when I'm training and a group of fucktards won't stop cussing, or being vulgar, like to the point where they're disruptive, like not to me, but everybody around. And, I have to kind of put away my white knight a little bit, right? I just don't like being disrupted when I'm working out. There was a guy that at a Gold's Gym in Mason, Ohio, that would rap, listen to his earphones, and would rap the whole fucking hour. And I really just wanted to dismantle him. But I just started training at a different time. It's mostly stuff like that. After 3 weeks, how long do you monitor weight on a bulk before adjusting? Well, you should be pretty dialed in after 3 weeks. At that point, when the trend is a little bit low or a little bit high, you make micro adjustments, when they make sense. I mean, if you're 4 weeks in, but the last week things have kind of flatlined, it could just be a rough week. So usually we have to be a little bit more patient and look for when it comes to making adjustments. It's always better to be a little bit more patient when making adjustments rather than overcompensate and have to pull back. Roger, what could be my potential based on the formula? I'm 6'4". All right. Something bit my butt. That's Apparel's a live TV. I had a cootie bite on my butt. What could be the potential based on the formula? So 5'10", your lean body mass is going to be around here. So for every inch above, you add 4 to 5 pounds. So you're about 6 inches. So 6 inches is going to be 24, or about 202. 5 would be to 212. So 202 to 212, roughly. Probably about 205, 208. So that's going to be your lean body mass. And then, you add in fat. If it was 205, it'd be about 242. Ishy. Does that help? Siamese Dolphins Productions, everyone's favorite Siamese Dolphins Productions company. Say you bulked for a period of 1 to 3 years and decide to cut. How much muscle would you end up losing? Why are you cutting for that long, dude? That's like a mega cut. That's like 50 to 75 pounds. If you need to lose 50 to 75 pounds of flubbuloid, you're probably best getting that off right now, because bulking is just going to add in. Are you doing a mega bulk here? I don't advise that. I would have to learn more, but you're not going to lose any muscle. I'm more concerned why you're doing a mega bulk or a mega cut. In the real world, no one cuts for 6 to 12 months. It's so rare, man. That's like setting yourself up for failure. On paper, I'm going to cut for 6 to 12 months. In reality, it's like flying a train or flying a plane into a mountain. It's hard to do that. That takes some ninja level skill to be able to cut that long without going off the rails or messing it up. That's danger zone. Cue dramatic music. Hello, Team Massive, a big, hairy, ugly dude. Did Zercher squats and kind of liked them. No judgment. Not sure if you mentioned that they are not great. I just posted on Instagram this morning a video of me doing Zerchers. So do I find them great? No. I don't think they're a really good muscle builder. And some people think they're going to use them to build their deadlift. I don't think they're particularly a good deadlift builder. If you want to do them, do them. If you want to let them rip, let them rip. But I would not bump anything else out of quality to work them in. Using your formula, I'm around 35 pounds short of natural potential. That's a lot of mass. Can you imagine what it would be like to smash that? Right? I'm bigger than Steve Reeves. No, you're not. Should disc golf be a sport? I've played it before. I don't mind it. It is a sport, isn't it? They have leagues, professional leagues, world championships. I'm sure they do. I had to take a week-long break because I got stitches in my fingers. Been there. During the pandemic, I set down a beer bottle heavier than I thought. Don't you judge. And it cut me, so I've been there. Is the leg press hard on the lower back? It can be. If so, is a compact lead sling, it can be. Like some of the horizontal presses, the leg presses, it's hard to get in there from the starting point, right? Or the starting point's not deep enough. It really depends on the machine. The leg press can be hard on the lower back, but it really depends on the specific type of leg press and how it's feeling, for you as an individual. Single arm dumbbell rows and T-bar rows, good combination. Yeah. If you're handling it well, really good one. Regarding coaching, do you have any preference when it comes to I mean, if somebody is, let me put it this way. When somebody comes to me and they're already track calories and they're shown a history of being able to do a cutting diet, and they track their workouts and they have pretty good form, it's exciting because we can get on to the good stuff. We don't have to see the value in consistent calories. We're already there. We don't have to see the value in working on squat form. We're already there. So while everybody's at a different place, and I have no issues with that, but in coaching, sometimes a lot of your coaching is just trying to get people up to speed so they can see good results. Does that make sense? Probably 25% of clients I have to push to get workout reports. And that's just pretty much the nature of life, really. I hate the leg press. Yeah, loading up all the weight is definitely tedious. You think they could build one where you wouldn't have to do that. All right. Ralph Fragenberger. Ralph Dingenberger. Sorry, Ralph, couldn't resist. Thanks for giving us nuance and realism to the smashing natural limits. Fully agree. Smashing our own limits for sure. You're welcome. I appreciate, when we can keep this an intelligent and rational discussion. I'm not trying to poop in anybody's cornflakes, but it is what it is. Gamboni law, carbs are necessary. Older school bodybuilders didn't really eat carbs. I don't over focus on carbs. I think it's really lifter dependent. I mean, we can't simply just pull the older school guys did this, that, or the other thing. The older school guys also took megaroids, right? Now, way back in the natural world, they didn't rely on a lot of the junk. And you're right, they didn't rely on a lot of overuse of oatmeal or potatoes. Some did, some didn't. Some relied more on it, some didn't. But there was more of that than there is nowadays. And in a way, I think that's a good thing. Not that I'm not against ruling out potatoes and rice, that by any means, not at all. But I think they tend to lean more, towards the leaner. It's like, what you doing, buddy? What you doing, buddy boy? Are you done stretching, buddy boy? Got you. Come here, buddy. You want to come back up, buddy? Come on, good boy. You're the best boy. Come back up. Got you a 720p resolution. Your face is still fuzzy. Yeah, that's I'm sorry. Okay, but that's internet connection today. I'm not sure why it's screwed. So I apologize. So in a way, they're acknowledging, well, the thing is, like, I don't think a lot of people actually know that it's been studied. So when people are, they don't actually know the numbers of the formulas. And so when people are being critical, they think it's just some generic, proclamation. That's my best guess. Steve, I can track all meals except dinner. I try to track what white people. That's okay, man. That's okay. What I typically recommend for folks, I don't know if you're trying to gain, lose, whatever, but we can start with what we can control, like a plate of food, not heaping helpings, but like a plate of food. It's going to be around 700-800 calories, right? So we can start with that. Does that make sense? And adjust. If we're radically different day in and day out, like one day we eat a heaping pile and the next day a mini pile, right? That's going to mess with things a little bit more. What's up, buddy? What? Oh, where are you waggling? He's got the super wagger going. Are you waggling? What? I know I'm right here. Everything's okay, buddy. Okay, now just settle down. The Hodge twins are what got me into lifting 8 years ago. What was it like training with them? Do you believe they were natural? Well, first off, I don't kiss and tell. So I'm not going to touch the second part. But they're good guys. They're really good guys. And look, I met a lot of douchewads in the industry. And I am not going to tell you I like someone if I don't. I will not do it. I'm not going to get on here and bash people, but they're good guys. They're smart guys. They're good businessmen. They're good human beings. They're not dumb. They're not idiots. They're funny as fuck. And they're faithful. They're loyal. They're guys that will meet you in person, and then they'll follow you, and then 2 weeks later, when they're out of your zone, they'll unfollow you. These guys still follow me. They're good people. And, I can't say enough about how much I respect them. They train as hard as anybody. To be fair, the time I trained with them, we were doing a premiere for a TV show, and there was like 50 other people in the room. So the workout was pretty chaotic. Anthony, do you think those shoe attachments will work to do? They look good. On Team Massive, I don't know that we have anybody that's run them, for an extended period of time. So I'm sure they can. I mean, any tool can be good. On the leg curl, I kind of wonder about wobble a little bit, but I'm sure you'll get used to that. Cigars and handlebars. Steve, you live in my hometown and have helped me immensely. Thank you. My question is, when can we get together and have a cigar? What I'm going to do is, once my home gym is done in my new house, I'm going to, we're going to be far more social. Where I lived previously, I had a gym, but it was a downtown property, and it just wasn't conducive, for having people over. It was a little bit cramped. But here, once I move, I have a home and commercial gym where folks can train with me. So we're gonna talk about that more when November, December gets here. And thank you for your service. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I feel weird to wear bodybuilding apparel while I'm still small. You got to wear something, man. Wear the stuff that motivates you and screw everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Come get you some Massive Iron gear. It's a +1, guaranteed +1 any lift. Can we do a massive iron T-shirt with a Trump mugshot? Nah, man. I mean, his mugshot is hilarious, regardless of where you fall on the political spectrum. I don't associate with any political party, so. But I don't do politics because, like in my world, if I mention Biden, if I laugh at Biden tripping, everyone's like, he's a Republican, and if I, mention Trump, he's a Republican. Like, I don't want anybody to get into that stuff because I hate that. So that's just the way it is. Like we can't laugh at one person without the other side thinking we're against them, and so on and so forth. I think all politicians can go fuck themselves. Do you think it's possible, well, most all of them, to achieve 315 bench without a specific? Well, there are going to be rare cases where you have somebody that's just a monster. But no, you need structure. Structure is essential. Unless you're just a random freak, structure is essential. It facilitates success. Thoughts on supersets? I think rest pause is a better way to save time. But supersets could work. For isolation lifts, yeah. Once the meat and potatoes is done, yeah, that could work. What you doing? Oh. Big John Paul, you waggly. Aside from the colds I have the past few years, I still feel normal and energetic, but still decided to take a week off. No, man, take a week off whenever you need. It's okay. It's not going to do much at all, taking a week off twice a year. Probably even help heal the wounds a little bit. I've struggled with imposter syndrome my whole life and often feel this in the gym. Well, I think anybody that does coaching or anybody that's successful in any way struggles with imposter syndrome. And I will say the people that do have my respect because they take what they're doing seriously enough to want to be better. It's the guys that think they know everything that scare me. What do you go to indicators that someone is training hard enough? You can see it. Usually it's the opposite. Like, what are the go-to indicators that somebody isn't training hard enough? They make excuses. I'm going to wait to progress. Or when I see their workout reports, there's no plus ones, on the last sets. But they assure me that they pushed every set for max reps. I'm not being snarky, but if you have 3 or 4 workouts at the same rep range and you're a beginner and you're saying you're pushing at least one set for max safe reps, you're not. What do we got? For form reviews, you said it looked like Olympic lift style. What are we talking about? I sent you a deadlift video. You said it looked like an Olympic style lift. A deadlift video? Where did I send it to you, Aberrant? Where was that? Mention it real quick and I'll bring it up. Pop it in. I get so many form videos. I'm trying to understand why I would say it. A deadlift would look like an Olympic style lift. So if you pop in it, I'll take a look. I can't recall where it was at. Hector, I have terrible mobility. I've been stretching for months now. I'm not a mobility expert, and I'm not trying to be dismissive, but that's not my lane. I'm not a mobility king. I would need to know more, and then maybe I can help point you in the right direction. Eric, I want to thank you for your energy you put in. I want to say that we are all here and know the value. Also appreciate you answering without being condescending. Thank you. I appreciate that. I always find it offensive to a degree when new people come along and and when they act like we've heard those questions a million times before. I'm here to help. I have a bad sense of humor sometimes. That comes up, but beyond that, thank you, Eric. Liberty's Olay, have you ever tried? No, oh my goodness. Yes, I've tried everything. I'm not shaking my head at your question. It's just this question, give it up. Don't do it. It's not good. Systemic fatigue can take, no, Mike's wrong. No one needs 10 to 14 to 21 days to recover from one hard set. No one does. It's all bullshit. Mike was completely wrong on that. I'm not shaking my head at you. It's just this whole idea that's being brainwashed, that's trying to brainwash you guys. That's bullshit. Ask questions, get answers. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you. Do you believe in magic, John? Can you elaborate on building mental strength? For example, going from forcing myself to get things done to being perfectly consistent. Mental strength is something we have to work on and train like a muscle, right? First and foremost, we have to be aware of our own bullshit. Like we have to be aware of our bullshit. There are tons of people out there that I see it every day that make excuses, and I don't go, John, that's bullshit, John, right? I didn't train today because my dog farted and I had on red underwear rather than yellow underwear. And I thought, when I have red underwear, I feel more, shut the fuck up, right? I mean, do you not see the maze of bullshit excuses you're, churning out? Elaborate mental strength is something we have to work on. We have to cultivate. We have to watch videos that equip us and read articles that equip us. And we have to push ourselves. We have to do things that we have to understand pushing ourselves when we don't want to push ourselves is part of building mental strength. Doing things we don't want to do and stepping out and risking failure, that's part of mental strength. We want to be safe. We want to be smart. We don't want to risk our money. We don't want to risk our health. But we have to stretch the boundaries and do things we don't want to do. Anthony, what about Massive Iron Prison Workout ebook? I'll pass on that, but I know what you're saying. AC, been a while. Thanks for joining in. Appreciate it. Lucas, what's wrong, buddy? What's wrong, buddy? Oh, you're a silly boy. Maybe I'll tickle your little ear. Are you a silly boy? You're just getting to lounge around with daddy today and be a lazy boy? If you've been lifting for 4 to 5 years but have skipped what? You're skipping leg day. Everyone ring the bell of shame. Have you, most of that period, can you? Yeah, I mean, if you're not working one muscle group and you work it, you're going to have a rapid increase. Absolutely. Aurelio, are you still selling your supplements? I do not have vegan. I have it available, but I would have to find time to make get the label set up. Let me see what I can do this weekend. What is a good protocol for squatting 2 times a week? Well, usually you want to do a little bit of variety for mental sake. I mean, you could do 3s both times. What I like to do as a base is maybe do 3s, and then the second day, 3 sets of 6, maybe pause squats. Peter, I did that 380 workout for the last 2 years, about 15 workouts a month. I'm no more diabetes, not yet done. Will the app be able to coach on increasing or decreasing calorie intake based on weight training? It's not going to self-guide you like AI, but you'll be able to analyze data to make adjustments. But outside of that, um, when it comes to weight loss, we have to be, I got to set you up, buddy. We have to get it over with, right? We can't be paranoid of strength loss. I'm going to jump to the question at the bottom real quick. Let's see. Why so dismissive of Menser? No, I was dismissive of we don't need 14, 10, 14, 21 days between rest periods. It's not, that was the question that's asked. It's not conventional. If you look at 99.9999% of lifters, it's not needed or required. Dorian did the same. No, he didn't. Dorian trained every body part once a week. You did not understand the question. He asked about recovery, right? Dorian also was at the forefront of massive amounts of drug abuse. Make no mistake about it. So you want to use one case versus a million other bodybuilders with results. And I'm not coming at you. I'm just being real. Dorian trained once a week and he trained hard. And he had already had a big base of mass, but at the time, he was also experimenting with abusive, insane levels of drugs. His drug protocol advanced. You can see I was there. I was watching. It was my era. So we can get caught up in this. And I'm not saying drugs was everything. Dorian trained hard, intensely hard, and I have nothing but respect for him. But he did not specifically use Menser's protocol. We were talking about rest periods, needing to rest. Where was the specific question? Hold on. Specific supersets, imposter. What is your opinion about the rest periods between workouts? That was the question you asked, right? And then this is your response. So I'm just being fair. You asked me a specific question. I gave you a specific answer. So if you're going to be, I'm just being real. If you're going to be critical of me, then be critical about the question you asked. If you want to crawl into a hole, I'm not trying to come at you, but if you want to believe in the cult, then believe in the cult. But the reality is, I've spent my life studying this, and outside of one or two cases, it's not convention, right? You asked about rest periods between workouts, and I gave you a specific answer. And you said systemic fatigue can take days to recover from. It's bullshit. It is absolutely bullshit. And we know it's bullshit because every lifter in the history of lifting, other than Mike Menser, even Dorian Yates didn't take 10, 14, 21 days between workouts. That's what you asked about. Mike was wrong. We know Mike was wrong because we have an incredible pool of data that shows us it's not, plus common sense. I've spent my whole life training hard. I do not need 10, 14, 21 days between workouts, nor anybody I know. And so Mike's the only one that said it. So we were talking about rest periods between workouts. Absolutely, Mike is wrong. Pulling the Dorian Yates card is a bait and switch, right? You asked about systemic fatigue. Dorian Yates did not use this, so it's not the same discussion. So I'm not trying to get fired up about it, but we have to stay on the tracks here. Really excited to hear about the Massive Training app. Thanks. We're going to keep working on it, taking one step forward. Rate my leg plan. Squirts look fine. Leg extension fine. Ham curls. You need one more quad exercise per week. One more quaddie per week. Anthony, that's why I'm here. Let him rip. So many questions. What would you consider to create a Massive Iron Certified? This is something that's on my to-do list just with my methods. So Um, what would you consider? Yeah, I mean, I've considered it this year. It's on my to-do list. I want to at least put together a bunch of courses where people can kind of self-learn my philosophies. I'm not against other lifting coaches' philosophies. I just want to teach my methods and let everybody else figure out whether they like them or they like somebody else's methods. But yeah, I just need the right time and energy and someone to help me to do that. And once I get a book done, it'll be a lot easier. Did my big bench question go through? I didn't see it. Maybe I did. I can't remember what I answered. If not, post it up. Steve, you're the man. Thank you, sir. Just wanted to thank you for all the fantastic information you put out for free. Thank you. I appreciate that. Your channel is a beacon of light and a sea of BS. Wishing you a fantastic rest of your week. Thank you so much. In this day and age, where people generally don't take time to say thank you, I appreciate you taking time to thank you. And it does mean something. I work hard. I'm very passionate about helping people and people not having their time wasted. So I appreciate it. It makes me feel good that you guys feel that way. Big John Paul. Is leg extension a good alternative for Bulgarian split squats? Absolutely. Decent, equal type of exercise. Some will say the Bulgarian split squat's more difficult. That's fair. I just find that I can get a lot of brutality out of a leg extension easier than a Bulgarian split squat because I can run the rack, run the stack, really go deep, do cheat reps, all kinds of things. So I personally like the leg extension a lot. I'm following Massive Mass Body Part Split, and I can't believe how good the workouts feel. That's good. I'm glad to hear it. I always thought bro splits were BS because science, but I think this style works way better. I like body part splits because you hit it hard, and then you move on, and then you hit it hard with what you got left, and then you move on, and you hit it hard with what you got left, and then it's just destroyed. And like today, just the pumps and the destruction. I like that laser focus. It's not for everybody. I don't like to shoot off of chest and then back right. You like my Star Wars sound effects or whatever they are. I like the laser focus. It's just in my wiring. I don't force anybody down the body part split route. Use whatever you like to use, right? I just particularly like it. And if you connect with it, I'm glad to hear it. I have some crazy bicep tendon pain at the elbow during incline bench. If it's inner elbow, it's likely elbow tendonitis, and that can show up on pressing. That's when you know it's pretty bad, when it shows up on pressing. But I would need to know more because this is an injury, and we need to know more information. What's a reasonable body weight for someone 5'10" to shoot for with abs? So if you were maxed out natural potential at, say, 178, you'd probably be like about 202, 204 weight, 205 tops. That was max potential. So let's say you're maybe half of that. You could be 180 to 190, 180 to 190 to 204, depending on how much mass you had. Do some of your guys on Team Master that are pushing near natural limits? I got some pretty big boys that are clients, and Team Master, we got some guys like David Harrison, just posted his 2-year transformation. He's doing great. We got Dumbbells and Donuts on here who is shredded. Still working on his mass, but he's super shredded. We got some pretty impressive guys, man, on Team Master, guys and girls. So Team Massive is more of a community than anything, so we really have a wide variety. Any clients who stick out that feel like lifting saved their life or gave them purpose? We got about 10 questions left, guys. So get them in. I don't want you to miss this. It's kind of a last call. I have a lot of people I really care for that I've been working with a long time, and everybody's in a different position. There is a very obese individual I've been working with for 6 years now that without me would probably be 600, 700 pounds. And I'm not magic. I'm not saying I'm the magic, but he's smart enough to know that he needs a voice over his shoulder, constantly pulling him back little by little. That's the one thing about coaching, is that sometimes people are slow to lose, but without you, they'd be fast to gain. So we're pulling that rope back one snug little tug at a time, if you will. Thoughts on lower protein with high body fat percentage versus lower protein has to be reasonable no matter what. It provides you with nutrients, a wealth of nutrients. And the only difference is the type of protein you eat during a diet. If you're cutting, you need to go leaner protein. Bulking, you can eat whatever. I know you mentioned in a video at some point, but I can't find it. When doing a 10-minute deadlift block, what is the rep progression? Well, you generally don't want to go above 20. You can go above 20, but just be safe. No grinders ever. A 10-minute deadlift block is you start your timer, 10 minutes. You do singles or doubles, depending on how you feel at that time. Rip a single, rip a double. You release the bar. You stand up. You catch your breath. You catch your sanity. When you feel ready again, you go. We're not rushing. We're just keeping a natural pace. When you hit 14 reps or more in that 10 minutes during the block, then you'd add weight the next time. Richard, I tried Landmine Meadows Rose. It felt good. What's your opinion? It's a good one. It's something I program in for most of my clients at home, so I have no issues with it at all. Nick, do you rest in between? Absolutely. You rest as long as you need. The goal is to come back and feel ready to rock. So rest until you feel mentally and physically ready to go again. Absolutely. Daniel, thank you for the video regarding the rest pause protocol you did. I use that in many of my workouts. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. How to set up a bench program. I want to train push-pull legs. Which program would you recommend? I have a course on my website, superlivingtoday.com, and I'm going to show you guys at the end, so stick around. Before we go, I'm going to show you some of the things on my website, not to do a sales pitch, but just as resources, because I want to show you guys all the stuff that you might not see on here that I have as resources. So I'm going to show you, Jan, just hang around, or Jan, sorry. What can you say about an inguinal hernia, fresh off surgery? You can't worry about that, James. You got to worry about what you can control. So time away from the gym is going to do what time away from the gym does. We can't control that. One thing I'll say is don't worry. Any minor muscle you lose, you'll get back muscle memory. It'll come back quickly when you return to normal training. There are plenty of more benefits. There are plenty more benefits, and are there drawbacks? Yes, but not what people think. Not sure what we're referencing. Sorry, man. If the app guides an increase on a bulk, I think we'll be able to analyze that, but you guys will be able to set the parameters. Like you could be able to set weight gain per month, and you can be able to maybe set the reanalyzation period like every 2 weeks. So to look at like the last 2 week period and make a recommendation. We could be able to do that. I'll talk with my guy this week. That should be pretty simple. Following up, it hasn't popped up anywhere else. I did weighted dips that same day. I also did some rack pulls, which also didn't bother it. It didn't show up the previous set. It's talking about the pain. It could have just been a phantom pain. It's really hard to tell. You know, sometimes you'll just get that. I'll get that on a set where I'll get a phantom pain. Rico, if you guys use WhatsApp, you can text me 513-649-2666, 513-649-2666. There you go. Yeah, my phone number. Feel free to spam me. John Carpenter, Stephen King, who is a goat. You know, King has a lot of really good books, and a lot of books I would consider mediocre to me. Just not my style. Like The Shining is one of the best reads I've ever read. A 700-page book that I tore through, just brilliant. But some of his books, you know, not so much. Some of his movies a lot of Stephen King's movies were turned into bad movies, unfortunately. John Carpenter, I don't know, man. John Carpenter is what can you even say about John Carpenter? Let's pull up his movies for those of you not familiar. And those of you not familiar with John Carpenter's movies, you really need to get up to speed. You need to get up to speed. You know, you have, I'm just trying to span through all this Halloween referencing on his list, but sorry, I went to Internet Movie Database and it's referencing every documentary that ever referenced Carpenter. So I got trapped in a world of chaos. So, Ghosts of Mars, Escape from LA, They Live, The The Escape from New York, Halloween, arguably the best ever horror movie, arguably, at least in the conversation. The Thing, arguably in the top 5 sci-fi alien movies of all time. So you have Halloween, which is in the top 5 discussion. You have The Thing, which is in the top 5 discussion. And then you have like Big Trouble in Little China, you know, and other great movies. So just on The Thing alone and Halloween, it's John. You're welcome. Thank you. Stick around, guys. I'm going to go over a few things before we go. When you have to drop weight due to time off, do you still progress by minimum increments? Like, here's what I do. I take a long time off. Like when I had COVID, I'd start off with 135 bench and then go to 145 bench and then 155 bench. And then I'd slowly creep up over like 6 to 8 weeks. And then once after 6 weeks kinds of hit, you can kind of doing max reps again. 4 to 6 weeks, you can kind of start to do max, you know, reps and get in the groove. Does that make sense? So, all right, where are we at? YouTube won't, just hit me up later. Richard, that was a great live. Have a great weekend and join Team Massive. Thank you. I'm going to show you guys something real quick. So hold on. I want to, before we go, it's a long 3-day weekend. I want to remind you guys that I'm looking at putting out a PDF book this weekend, and I'm looking at putting out with it maybe a copy of the PDF of my Natural Potential free with purchases. So look for that. I'm going to try to put out a book where I have like the 10 best or 10 programs, 10 classic programs, and then I put out the massive iron variations. So I want to show you guys real quick before I go my website. It is superlivingtoday.com. And on the menu, I just want to show you some of the things on here that you can find. Now, in the coaching tab, you have obviously basic coaching, and then you can save 20%. So that's the coaching tab. Team Massive, you can join Team Massive Lifetime. Supplements tab. I have whey, salty caramel's my favorite. Chocolate's great, and then we have creatine. I don't make a lot of money off this because I'm not a big company. I make like $5, and so but they're quality products. If you're interested in that, we don't have that bench press, so I have to remove that. On the workouts tab, this is really where there's a lot of gold. If you look at the workouts tab, I have tons of workout ideas, and there's 3 pages here. Right, you have the Massive Collection, which is a monster 354-page collection, and some of my new stuff: Massive Push-Pull Legs Variant, Massive YOLO, Massive Iron Big Small, Massive Hard Gainer, Massive Iron Push-Pull Arms Legs. It just goes on forever. Massive Squadzilla, tons of program ideas, and then there's some stuff on here for free. Lean and Mean 10-Day Challenge, 3,500 Calorie Challenge, John Christie, How to Test Your 1-Rep Max. Free PDF, Massive versus Jeff Nifford's Minimalist. You have the Massive Iron Pillars, free PDF. Okay. Some tools, $4.99. Progression Approaches, $4.99. Creeping Death, $4.99. Some really good stuff in here. Just tons of stuff. So that's the workouts tab. And the store, I'll show you. Hold on. You guys can still post questions if you want. So in the store, ebooks. These are all ebooks. The Massive Iron Collection, Massive Bulking, my cookbook, the 10-100 Challenge, Massive Iron ebook, Muscle and Brawn Archives. That's a great book filled with tons of amazing information. You got the bundle, the old Flex Calorie Dieting. So you have that in ebooks. These are books you can actually buy. Expanded edition, Massive Iron. My log book, you can log 200 workouts a year in this log book. It's a great log book. These are all physical books. Get Eating Cookbook, Muscle and Brawn Archives. This is a great book, folks. It's some of the best articles from the old Muscle and Brawn website, just packed with fun stuff, Russian squat programs, and you name it, in the Super Living Challenge book. What else do we have? Hold on. Services. You can get a phone consultation. You can get a complete workout design. Those are under services. And this is a fun part. Now watch. Apparel. Okay. Tons of t-shirts. You know, the Massive Iron shirt, the Crom shirt, the Massive Iron VIP shirt with the kind of the ghouly woolly, Massive 316. I just do this for fun, right? Just a lot of fun stuff. This is the Massive Armor rip off of the Arm and Hammer, right? And the Massive DMC, you know, Run DMC rip off. And you guys will know this one, right? And this is an AC/DC ripoff. I just do this for fun and just make stupid t-shirts for fun. The Turkesterone t-shirt, underdose placebo gains, just crazy stuff. What else we got? This is a silly one I made: regressive underload instead of progressive overload. And the shirts have different colors and stuff like that. Hold on. Hold on for this one. This is one of my favorites. Buy my friggin' cookbook, right? Why not? The Breaking Massive t-shirt. And we got flags. We got the white and black flag, the MTV ripoff. And man, these shirts go on forever. These shirts go on forever and ever. You got mugs. You got Embrace the Suck. Just a lot of good general lifting stuff. We got hoodies. You got 3/4 Raglans. You have tanks. And there's some, I'll show you some of the new stuff at the end. You got phone cases. And this is I like this one. This is a funny one. It says, don't touch the bar. When you're benching, the person spotting can read it because it's upside down. That's just kind of a silly, goofy one. Some stupid, really bad ones like the Incredible Bulk. My pronouns are Massive Iron, in case anybody wants to know. Sarm's Goblin. This one's for Josh Megaroids, right? And I highlighted ED for erectile dysfunction. Subtle stuff, right? I run so I can drink beer. They just go on forever. Fitness influencers making up stupid exercises since 2010. Just random shirts. Then we have our whole barbell club stuff, like the Massive Iron Barbell Club. These are kind of all the same themes, and those are a lot of fun. The Massive Iron Barbell Clubs, ER, PR, that sort of thing. The plus ones. We got a lot of good Massive Iron clubs. Just some other fun stuff. You guys can post up questions, and I'll get to them. Other different variants that I've created. This is a Bulldozer shirt. I kind of like this one a lot. The Massive Iron Bulldozer training shirt. That's pretty cool. And we even have this. Look, I use this gym bag. It's big and it's thick and it's rugged, and I absolutely love it. If you need a new gym bag, this is one to consider. I love this gym bag. It's just hardcore. And if you really want to be a dork, we got Massive Iron Chucks. They're not Chucks. They're not Chuck Taylors, but, you can get your Massive Iron Chucks. We've got them for women in the whole pinky winky. You can see Massive Iron there on the bottom. We got all kinds of crap on here. This is one of my favorite designs, and a lot of guys like this, the Massive Joe. It's a ripoff of the G.I. Joe logo. But I wear this t-shirt, and a lot of guys like that t-shirt. We have hoodies. Somebody asked for a massive candy bar like the Snickers bar, so I did that. Let's see. I've been experimenting with leggings for my wife, so we're working on the massive. So that's up there for fun. We have the Massive University line, and right there, I made this one as a joke, Power Builder. I'll send that one to Faz, right? And last row. What do we got here? According to food labels, I identify as a family of 4. Humor, right? So that one's a funny one. And someone wanted the Massive Iron Beachbody one, the tank. Got that done. What's this one? I lift because I'm ugly. Got some different colors. Kind of silly. We got the flag with the massive G.I. Joe flag. And what else we got? This is for Halloween. Okay, we got a specialty Halloween shirt on. We got 2 variants, and I put out a different Halloween one every year. This is variant number 1, Massive Iron, as big as strong as humanly possible. And then we have variant number 2, which is from Derek suggested, this Massive Scream, as big as spooky as humanly possible. Just fun stuff, lifting stuff, right? We wanted this for Team Massive. We bulk on our bulk. That's kind of a Team Massive thing. And we have the hoodie as well with a different font color. Now, these are fun. These are new. I just did these this week. Motorcycle tanks and tees. This is Born to Lift. You get this in a tank and a tee. Kind of a cool lifting, biking thing. And then we have this as tank and tee as well, which is pretty hot design. Massive Iron, Born to Lift, Born to Grow. So that was 2008. So that's it, guys. That's all the stuff over on superlivingtoday.com. So where were we? Wash hands, wash hands, wash hands. Show me the motorcycle ones. I hope you got to see them. Crom. I love the Don't Touch the Bar t-shirt. That's one of my favorites. And good strategy, not the leg extensions and curls for the first couple of years. If you focus on squats, it's going to be a long pass. So you really have to ease into things with squats. Hip hinges, we really have to be aware of our lower back and the stress on our lower back. So overdoing squats and deads, we have to really ease into those and make sure we understand form and get form up to speed, yada, yada, yada. So you can do hacks, you can do leg presses. There's no reason not to do leg curls and leg extensions. If anybody's against it, it's probably just a little bit of hype. And I screwed up something, Jan. I was going to show you something, and I'm sorry. And let me bring it up real quick because I was going to show Jan something. Sorry, Jan, Jan. I'm assuming it's Jan, but I was going to show you guys something, and I forgot. And I want to show him real quick because it's one of the reasons why I showed you guys the website. There's something on here I forgot to show you guys, so bear with me. And this has to do with benching. Okay, so hold on. Screen share. This has to do with benching, I promise. So on the website, there is courses. There's a course tab that I didn't click on. And you have courses. These are bigger PDFs, the Power Muscle Bulldozer, the bulking course. There's a bench press course on here, okay? And this one, if you want bench press ideas, it's only $14.99, but you get all of these bench press programs and ideas, right? So it's 5,000 words in length, and it's got some really, really good programs. And I forgot to share that, but that's over there as well. How many times a week do you bench the Massive Big Bench program? Twice. All right, guys, that's it. We're out of here. I appreciate you guys joining in. For those of you that have a 3-day weekend, enjoy. If I missed your question, please head over to Instagram, @TheBarman, slide into my DM with your questions. I love each and every one of you ugly bastards, and thank you for coming by. And see you next weekend. I'll see you next Friday.
It's not almost over. It's not almost over. You're not almost there. You're not almost there. You're not almost there.